Entitled Dad wants me to subsidize his trip to Europe. For background, my dad and I are currently no contact due to him being a controlling asshole my entire life and an incident earlier this year that pushed things over the edge. I am still in contact with my mother. I currently have a couple of weeks off to spend time with my son who is a few months old before we start daycare. Usually, around lunchtime, I go to my parents' place so my mom can spend time with her grandson. My dad is at work during the time I visit. During my most recent visit, my mom mentioned that my dad asked if I could pay $3,000 to fund his trip to Europe. He is going to the UK, France, and maybe somewhere else for a month later this year. We have family spread out in those countries, so he will be visiting and staying with family and friends. My mom is not going. Will actually be nice for her to have a staycation of sorts since she won't have to be a maid and cook for a grown man for a month. I am taking her to New York to stay with my aunt and cousins for a bit where she can relax, and she will come back home with my cousins who will stay for a couple of weeks to hang out and visit where we live. My parents are lower middle class. They don't go on international trips on a normal basis, so this is a big treat. However, my parents live a very frugal lifestyle, so my dad has more than enough money to pay for this trip on his own. I know this because I literally have access to his bank account for years, basically managing their finances and paying bills online for him even when I was a kid. He does not need the money from me. Simply asking because he is delusional and thinks his children owe him because he did the bare parental minimum of providing food, clothing, and shelter for us. He worked hard, we'll always give him credit for that. However, he thinks we owe him and should always do as he says. To be clear, my mom did not expect me to pay and was telling me more, so I am just informed of what is going on.